Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Travel Talk. I'm super excited this time because I have a special guest with us. Joining us for this episode is Tania Dixon. She is one of the travel planners at Magical Memory Planners. She has been with Magical Memory Planners since 2019, so she has a lot of experience. And she is also what we call an all-star agent, which just also speaks to her years of experience in sales. And so she just got back from an amazing trip to Sandals South Coast. And some of you might, if you're familiar with the Sandals brand or have been there in years past, you might remember Sandals White House. So it's actually the same resort. It's been rebranded, renamed to Sandals South Coast. And so we're just going to kind of have a conversation with Tania and find out more about her trip, how it went, and some of the details about this awesome resort so that maybe if it's something you're considering, you'll learn a little bit more about it. So welcome, Tania.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to hear about Sandals South Coast. So you just recently went there with a group of friends. So what made you choose Sandals South Coast for your group?
Yeah, so we went with 3 other couples. So there was a total of 8 of us. When we were trying to decide, we all have kids and we all share something in common that we all have little boys that are starting kindergarten. So when we were talking about an adult's trip, we wanted something before school started for the kids, and then we wanted something that would be good for everybody. And everybody enjoys different things. Some people are more active than others. Some people wanted more activities. Others wanted just to sit on the beach and relax. So I felt that South Coast was a really good combination of all of those things at one place. They wanted something more, secluded. Their resort it's not really in a big area where you're going to have a lot of beach vendors or anything like that. So I felt like that was a perfect place for everybody to kind of enjoy together.
That's awesome. I've had a couple of clients approach me as well about looking for a location for actually 40th birthdays have been very popular.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've had 2 groups choose Sandals South Coast for their 40th and for a lot of those similar reasons. So, okay, so we're going to start at the very beginning of the trip. So
Okay.
you fly into Jamaica, you land at the airport, and the very first thing you do is, I know you guys added the service of Club Mobay. So tell us a little bit about arriving in Montego Bay and the Club Mobay service that you had.
Absolutely. So I will say Club Mobay, 100% get it each time you go. You cannot go wrong. Definitely worth the money. Even from our friends that went, they're like, this is awesome. You feel like a total celebrity because as soon as you get off the plane, you have somebody holding a little card with your name. So you know that they're there for you and they'll verify, you just show them your passport identification that you are who they're waiting for. And then they just take you through the whole process. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to think about, am I doing this right? Is this the correct line? Where do I go next? They just walk you through everything. I mean, they were like, just go to this desk and show them your passport. And that's what we did. So they just walk you through everything so seamless and fast. So everybody was so impressed by how just, and it makes you feel comfortable. A lot of our couples had never traveled like that before. So they were just kind of at peace knowing, oh, somebody's got me. We're good. Like they didn't have to worry about anything. So definitely an excellent service, worth your money. After going through customs, all of those things, they'll take you and they'll explain the process to you, like what's happening. So you know exactly what's happening. And they told us that they would take our luggage, they would tag it, what resort we're going to. And then they gave us the option of either going to the Sandals Lounge or the Club Mobay Lounge. And our group decided to go to the Club Mobay Lounge because it seemed like they had better drinks there. And so actually, when we arrived, our transport was ready for us, but they were so good. They were like, you're on island time, go get you something to eat, go get you some food. You have about an hour and a half ride. So we're waiting for you. Don't worry about it. So that you did not feel rushed at all to get to enjoy the things that you had already paid for to go. But yeah, absolutely, 100%. For my clients, I always encourage them to get it because it just, your vacation starts as soon as you land, no questions asked.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest pain points or areas of stress going into an
Mhm.
international vacation is landing in the airport and dealing with customs and immigration. So Club Mobay, that sounds like a amazing experience. I've done it myself. I don't think I could do it any other way. But yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, like you mentioned, Sandals has a lounge. So after, whether you go to the Club Mobay lounge or you go straight to the Sandals lounge where they tag your luggage and get you all situated so you can head out to the resort. So now you get to the resort. You had said it was about an hour and a half to the hotel, or to the resort from the airport down to South Coast. So tell us a little bit about the ride. Like, what type of vehicle was it? What was the road? What were the roads like? Did they have any rest areas? Like, how did the trip
Yeah.
go?
So it is a longer drive. Our driver did inform us that if there is a cruise ship at port that morning, it's going to take longer to get out of Montego Bay. And there was a cruise ship that morning there when we arrived. So there was a lot of traffic. There was tons of people walking everywhere. So it did take us a little bit longer to get out of Montego Bay. But as soon as we were out of Montego Bay, you go through a lot of little towns and the roads are really bumpy. But they're not, I mean, there's a lot of like bumps and potholes in the road. They try to avoid them as much as possible, and they drive really fast. So just none of us felt sick or anything like that. It was just a very interesting ride. And then as soon as you're almost to the resort, you're able to see kind of like the ocean, and it looks really beautiful when you're driving alongside of the ocean for a little portion of your ride. They do have a rest area. It was funny because when they opened the door, like he stopped, he opened the door to the it was like a van that we were in, and I know the people we were with, our friends, they were just looking like, okay. And he's like, this is a Sandals approved stop. So we got to use the restroom, and they had drinks in there and some snacks for, you could purchase those. So you could purchase those. We still had about 30 to 40 minutes to go after that point. And yeah, and as soon as you get to the resort, it just looks, it's just beautiful. And I mean, just the culture. I think the thing about the ride is you're in a different country, just seeing how people live and how, just the way they are. Our driver was amazing. He was just telling us, about their culture and why people do the things they do, and just very informative of that. So when you're traveling out of the country, those are the things that you want to learn. Yes, you're there to relax and stuff, but we really enjoyed that, and asking him questions. He was really open about asking them questions on how people live there and stuff. So it was a good, informative ride and very interesting.
Yes. So the other thing to point out too is that the drivers are not under the no tipping policy. I'll say it that way.
Oh, yes.
So the Sandals does have a very strong no tipping policy once you're on resort, but the transfer drivers and any excursions that you take, as well as spa and butler, are people that are willing and able to accept tips. So just something to be prepared for the ride. Okay, so you finally get there. You are at Sandals South Coast. So this is for those that are not familiar with Sandals properties, Sandals are adults only, and they're also designed for couples. So every room has one king bed. There's not two doubles or other bedding arrangements. Every room is one king bed. They don't have rooms with connecting doors, things like that. And that overall in the Sandals brand, the rooms will have categories of either luxury, concierge, or butler. And that refers to the level of service that comes with the room. So there are, obviously the butler rooms are the highest level category, and those are some of the most luxurious rooms as well, which we'll talk about for sure. but you'll see, like, as we talk about the hotel, whether it was a luxury, a concierge, or a butler room. And then the other thing is that the hotel is broken up into three villages. And that kind of, each village has its own identity in its own area. So they are the Italian village, the Dutch village, and the French village. And I believe while you were there, the French village was under renovation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so that whole area is being renovated right now. So that will be amazing when it is all back. And then the Dutch village just finished renovations. So that area is also very beautiful and ready for guests. So tell us a little bit about what room you had, and why you chose it.
Yes. So I wanted the couples we went with kind of let me take control of their trip, and they just wanted to have a great time. So I selected the Dutch Village for all of us to stay in. One, because of the renovations, and every single room in the Dutch Village, you're going to be able to see the ocean. And that's the one thing that everybody wanted, is to be able to see the ocean from their room. So I knew that no matter what category of room they were comfortable with purchasing, that they were going to have the view that they wanted. So every room at Dutch, you can see the ocean, and most of the couples got the luxury room. Me and my husband opted for the club level concierge room. With that, you get the one thing we really enjoyed was room service. I do not like to get up early. I didn't want to get up, get dressed, and go to breakfast. That's too much work. I just wanted to get up, make a phone call, and then have them bring my breakfast while I'm getting ready to maybe go to the pool or the beach or whatever it is we were going to do. So that was very, very nice, having them bring our breakfast. It is a select menu. You have a menu for just room service. So you can't order off of anything in the property. You do have a select menu, but the food was delicious. We also did room service for lunch, and that was good as well. And since we all went as a group, we were really close by to each other. It's not like we had to wait forever, like if we were going to walk together to dinner or whatever. We just met at the pool, and everybody, one couple was on floor 2, the other couple was on 3, but it was not a long walk at all for any of us. And the couples we went with, they were talking about how they loved the Dutch Village where it was located, because you had your pool, and then in front of your pool you had the bar, but the bar was like between the beach and the pool. So even if you were sitting out at the beach, it was probably like, I don't know, 10 steps of that to the bar. The same for the pool area. So accessibility to drinks was there. And then you had the over the water Latitudes over the water bar that was very close to there. You could sit out the pool and watch it. So yeah, like just where it was located was very nice. Kind of, I know at South Coast, all the restaurants and the entertainment is usually on one side of the property, but Dutch just felt like it was a good walk, and just a good location.
Awesome. So let's just touch base a little bit again on that Latitudes bar. So, because
Yeah.
that's kind of a new thing that they brought to South Coast, and I think it's been very popular and a lot of great feedback. So, Latitudes is an over the water bar out like on a pier.
Mhm.
And what I've been dying to know is about the hammocks. Did
Oh,
you
yes.
like get into one of those hammocks? Because when I look at them on the pictures, I think to myself, if I got in there, I don't think I could get out.
No, they are actually, yeah, I thought the same thing. But they're very sturdy, very, very sturdy. Like whatever the netting they have on there, it's extremely sturdy. So it's not that hard to like get in or get out
Okay.
of those hammocks. And they're very nice. And I will say, I think people sleep on Latitudes because there's never hardly any people out there. Like the whole time we were there, very few people would go out to Latitude. So that was nice for our group to just go out there. We did it one night. We went out there at night, and it was nice to just hang out, listen to the waves coming into crashing into the pier of the bar, and it was really nice. And it was just our group out there. Like there was nobody out there. So don't sleep on Latitudes. It's really fun place.
Awesome. So I know while you were there, you also met with the sales manager and were able to tour the resort and see more of the other resort accommodations and things. So tell us a little bit about some of the other accommodations that you saw and some of the amazing and interesting things that they had at South Coast.
Yeah, so the Randoval. So I had asked if I could view the over the water bungalows and the Rondevals were kind of like on my top list of what I really wanted to see while I was there. All of their over the water bungalows were booked up while I was there, so I didn't get a chance to actually tour those, but they're really close to the Dutch Village, and we walked over there, and they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But we did get to tour the Rondevals, and it's like a paradise in itself. Like you feel like you're at a totally different place. Like it's not even the same place where we're staying at. You do get butlers there. So you have two butlers. With the butlers, you actually can order food from anywhere on the property. You're not limited to a menu. They can bring you food from anywhere, and you literally don't have to leave your room. You have the pool, you have a plunge pool also, that's kind of more private. And then you have like, it looks like a little river that you can just go out and take a swim. Very quiet and peaceful. I was like, can I just stay here? It was really good. You have your full stocked bar, all the drinks that you would like, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Just very spacious rooms, very, very spacious. So I that that's the next place that I'm going to go stay at because they were amazing. They were amazing. Like I can explain it. Even just walking around through the village there of the Rondevals, it was just very peaceful, and it just really felt like it just transported you to a totally different location. And the walk, like if you stay there, the walk to the beach is not that far, but your butler has a golf cart that they can just take you on to the beach. And we saw a lot of that. Just tell them to come pick you up, and they'll take you out there where they have selected your chairs and your cooler, all of those things.
So one of the things I love about the Rondevals is they get that name from being like a hotel room in the round, right? So there's like the back portion is where the tub and stuff and the bathroom area is, and then the front half is like the bedroom area and the table and chairs and couch and whatever. And then around it is like your outdoor space. And it's
Yes.
like literally your own piece of paradise. And if you didn't want to see anybody except for your butler for 4 or 5, 7 days, that's like totally an option.
Yes, absolutely. It is. It is. It's beautiful. A very romantic place. I can see like a honeymoon couple staying there, just very, spending time with the other person you're with, like very, yeah.
Yeah, I love the waterfalls and stuff too, because I think all that those water features help to drown out any resort noise and just give
Yes.
you that sense of privacy because not that they're close together, but they're in a certain area. So those waterfalls all start to create just that more of that sense of privacy and stuff as well.
Right.
We've had the opportunity to have a butler a couple of times at Sandals. We had a butler at Sandals Regency La Toc in St. Lucia and also at Sandals Royal Caribbean up in Montego Bay. And those butlers, let me tell you, I don't know how they know what they know, but they know everything and they know right when you need something. And they're just really outstanding. And they really just a lot of people when I talk to them about getting a butler, they're like, I don't need a butler. I'm like,
Yeah.
you just don't know you need a butler. I'm like, you
Yeah.
do. You just don't know it. And so after you have one, you're like, oh yes, that's right. I do need a butler. But one of my favorite things is what you had mentioned that they can prepare a place for you at the beach or the pool or whatever. So you just I always kind of like let my butler know what's coming next. So in the evening, and they're like, all right, well, have a good night, or that type of thing. I'll say, well, tomorrow we really want to order breakfast in, or we want to sleep in, or we really want to go to breakfast in this location. And that kind of gives them like a hint of how they can help you. And then I'll usually tell them where I want to be for the day. So if we don't have spa or excursion or something, I'll be like, I really want to be at the pool, or I really want to be at the beach, or I really want someplace shaded, or I really want someplace where all the activity is because we want to hang out with people or whatever. whatever I'm thinking. And then that kind of like gets their wheels turning. And then and then usually while I have breakfast or whatever, I'll hear from them or we'll text them. They give you this cute little, it's like an iPhone, so you can text them or call them at any time. And then I kind of tell them what we want to do for lunch. And usually I want lunch brought to me so I don't have to get up. So I'll be like, yeah, it'd be awesome. It's like 1 o'clock if we had pizza.
Yes.
And, you know, generally sometime in the mid-morning comes a cocktail and I'm like, hey, so are you still thinking about pizza at 1 o'clock? I'm like, yes, I am. And then pizza comes. So anyway, I just love having a butler, and that is a great opportunity in both the Rondevals and the Overwater bungalows. But even in the Dutch Village, they have those one bedroom options with the butler, so you can really be almost anywhere on property and have that level of service if that's what you're looking for, which is really cool.
Absolutely. You just triggered my mind. We didn't have a butler, but we did do club level, and so the Tranquility tub out in our balcony, my husband loved it. So he probably soaked in it every day we were there. So one morning he went in to get in the tub, and I had ordered breakfast. So I just sat outside eating our breakfast. And he's like, what is that noise? I'm like, I didn't hear anything. And we were just talking about how we needed more waters, and I love Coke, and the Coke there was so good. And I'm like, well, I need to call them so they could get us more waters and more Cokes. And I'm like, well, we'll do that as we get ready to go down in a little bit. So I finished up breakfast and we're getting ready. And he opens it because he knew we had one more water left. And he's like, did you already call for the waters? And I'm like, no, I haven't. Our whole fridge was stocked with all the things we wanted. And had no idea. I'm like, oh my goodness, they were like ninjas, just like putting all our stuff in and like sneaking back out. Yeah, so everything was fully stocked. I'm like, well, I don't have to make that call anymore. Like they knew what we were out of and gave us all those things. So that was nice.
Yeah, if you're not at the butler level, being at that concierge level and that concierge lounge where you check in, and then the staff that's in there are great resources for questions and for help. And if you need anything, and they usually have like a special cocktail in there or some other snack. So, you frequent through there and let them know what you need or what you're thinking about. And they can help connect those dots for you. But Sandals really knows how to make it so that you really feel like you're on a luxury vacation and you don't have to worry about, all the little things. Their service is really a step above.
Okay.
Which segues us into food.
Hey.
So, I just really like food everywhere I go. So, tell us a little bit about some of the dining options. I mean, majority of everything is walk up. There are usually a couple of locations on each Sandals property that do require reservations, which you wouldn't make until you arrive. So it's kind of the first thing you can do when you check in with the concierge, or if you have a butler, of course, they'll take care of those reservations for you. But there's a lot of restaurants on property. So maybe just a few highlights of some of your favorite places.
Yeah, so there is two restaurants at South Coast that you do have to have reservations for. And one of the couples we were with, they actually arrived there a couple of days before we did. They wanted to extend their stay, so they arrived 2 days earlier. And they actually let them make the reservations for all of us their first day. So that was nice, even though our club level and concierge were very helpful and wanted to make those for us as well. But we did go ahead and make reservations for both of them. I told her to go ahead and make our reservations when she got there. And even though some of the couples may not want to go, that was fine because we could decide later. But I just wanted to make sure that we had that choice together. So I would say go ahead and make your reservations. If you don't want them, just go and cancel them. But we ate at both of the restaurants, and they were really good. I'm not a big into seafood that well, so I was kind of afraid that there was not going to be something there that I was going to really enjoy or was going to be able to order. But their I will eat shrimp, but their surf and turf was delicious. Like their steak and their shrimp was amazing. It was really good. It was very good. I actually got that at both of the restaurants. But my husband, he ordered a side of lobster. So that's the really good thing about being there, because the girl or our server was going to bring him a whole nother entree. And he's like, no, 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 I just want the lobster. And she's like, okay, so yeah, so if you're still hungry, order more food. They will bring it to you. They want you to be satisfied. So that was really nice. They have like, I think it's called Jasmine's, is their like Asian food. So if you like Asian food, that was really good. We did have the that was probably the longest wait we had for dinner, and we waited like 25 minutes. So we went, and they have some like games that you can play. So we played some games, got a drink, and waited our turn, and then it was time to go eat. So we didn't wait that long, and that was really, really good. And then my favorite, and I don't like seafood, but my favorite was the sushi by the sand. It was great, delicious, like so, so good. Our whole group probably tried the whole menu. Everybody ordered something different. We all shared, and what we didn't get to experience, then someone else ordered. And then our waiter was so kind. He actually made like a special dish for our group, and brought it out and just like served it. So it just made you feel kind of special and seen. So that was probably my favorite place we ate. And if you are needing food at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they do have a restaurant that stays open till 5 a.m. So if you get hungry in the middle of the night, you can find you something to eat. So
Nobody should be hungry at Sandals. I always say the menu is kind of like a suggestion, like it's categorized. So there's appetizers and there's soups and there's salads and there's entrees, but it's not like you have to pick one of each or what. Just order whatever
right.
you want. You can get
Yep.
4 appetizers and no entree if you want. You get 3
Yes.
entrees if you want. We often order. We have a joke in my family called for the tea, which is for the table. And so if there's something that everybody kind of wants but nobody wanted as their main entree, we'll be like, get that for the tea, and then everybody can kind of try that. So we do that when we cruise as well with the family, for the tea. Not when we're in restaurants where we're paying per plate, but at Sandals or at a cruise or whatever, we
Yes.
order for the tea and then we get some other things. But yeah, I just love that about and because everything's kind of coming fresh out of the kitchen, they can make an adjustment if they need to. If you don't want like the full entree, or if you just want the side from another, like the vegetable or some piece of a different entree that you wanted to try, they can work with that. And then they have a culinary concierge. So if you have dietary needs or you need to talk about any of that, we'll put that for guests on their reservation ahead of time, but you can also meet with the concierge where they'll go over menus and talk to chefs and make sure that everything is taken care of.
Absolutely. And that's one thing they always ask. Every time you sit down, is there any, allergies or any dietary needs? They're very conscious about that. So anywhere you go, they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you that. So that was nice, to do that. And yeah, ask questions like, don't be afraid to change up their menu, like ask them. And even like if they don't have it on their menu, you can still ask. A lot of the times they can still bring it to you, especially if it's like a drink that you had that's maybe another bartender made that was really good and you just want that for dinner. Ask them. A lot of the times they're able to either make it there or go get it for you. So just ask. You know?
Never hurts to ask. Okay, so then after all that eating, there's some recreation. So this resort obviously has beautiful pools and beaches and activities and things like that. So just tell us a little bit about the beach itself. I know it has a really long stretch of beach, and you had mentioned before it being private from where it's located. So tell us a little bit about the beach, the sand, the water, what that looked like, and then also a little bit about their pools and activities.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest questions that I usually always get from clients, is, will we be able to find space on the beach? Is there going to be enough chairs? Is there going to be enough shade? We were a group of 8 and never had a problem being able to sit together under little like tiki huts. We always found at least two of them close by, and we were able to all like sit together. So even for a couple, I don't think you would ever really struggle finding a place, because the beach is very long and there's plenty of space. We never felt crowded. And people will move around. So they may stay a couple of hours at the beach, and then they may go to the main pool, and then they may go to their pool at their village. So people are always moving around. So it does not ever feel really crowded. I think the main pool is probably the one that's the busiest, but that's where you're going to have your DJ, your activities, your contest, all of those things they do during the day. So it's more loud and it's busier, but you will not struggle finding a place on the beach. It's just very nice and very calm. So you don't have to worry about that. And even in the pool areas for our Dutch area, normally what our day would look like is we would go to the beach for a few hours, and then we would go back to our pool at the Dutch village. And we always found a place to like put our stuff and get in the pool, have little tables for our drinks. I mean, we never struggled to find a place. And I experienced it, and I have also heard that from other clients that have been there, how it did not feel crowded at all. And they're busy, they stay very busy. But it did not feel that way.
One of the things I love is that there's something for everyone. So if you're looking for a quiet pool to read and just, take a nap, there's that. If you're looking for a hub of activity and a DJ, like you said, and games, there's that. We were at Sandals South in St. Lucia this year, and they were having top 10 contests, and they were doing trivia and all kinds of things. And then but if you want to go to the pool or go to the beach or go play, there's like pool, and there's ping pong, and there's, I don't know, like yard games, and just like you can wander around. There's all kinds of things. There's palapas and places that you can be in shade, and there's things in the sun, and just wander around.
Yeah, definitely something for everybody. And I know our group, some of the couples, so you can go snorkeling, and they'll take you out on the glass bottom boat, and they take you out past the reef. And we went one day, but some of the couples we were with did it every single day we were there. You just have to sign up the day before, get on the list. They give you time to come back the following day. And then you just show up, and they give you your gear, and you're good to go. So that's I know one of our couples did that every single morning at 10 o'clock. You knew that they were going to go snorkeling that morning. And then kayaking, we also did that. So probably most of our couples did kayaking almost every day as well. Just some activity and cardio while on vacation. And then they have sailboats, they had paddle boards, just all kind of water activities to do. So, if you have those people that cannot sit still, there's things for them to do while they're
for
out
sure.
there.
And then I love that
keep the kayaks as long as you want. Like, they don't tell you have an hour and you got to bring it back. Like, you just go and do your thing and just come back whenever.
I love that then at night, the whole place looks completely different, because then there's fire pits, and there's other kinds of music around. And sometimes it's just like quiet guitar music. Sometimes there's an area that has like livelier music. There's an activity or a show or something. Or, I mean, my husband and I love to go find a fire pit and just sit by and just listen to the ocean, sit by the fire, chill.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot for everyone. If you just want to, after dinner, relax, you can do that. If you want to go, they had like people playing the violin out in the courtyard. They had people, I know, playing like the saxophone, just like jazz music, that you could sit there and just relax and listen to the music. And then later on at night, they had like the DJ where you could, get up and have dance or whatever you wanted to do. They had karaoke night a couple of times while we were there. And then they have a like theater, and every night it's like a different theme that they do. I think my favorite night was the Jamaica night, where they did a lot of traditional things. I love to learn about other people's cultures and just kind of what's traditional to them. So they did traditional dances, they did their national anthem, they did their flag pledge, just all of those, cultural things. I think that was probably my favorite night we went to the theater to watch. I mean, just the music and the dancing on stage. It was really nice.
Fun. Did they have any like sometimes they have a theme night, like a white night or a chocolate
Yes.
night
Oh,
or
yes.
any kind of
Yes, I'm glad you said that. That was fun too. So they have a silent disco, and along with the silent disco is the white party. So if you've never done a silent disco, they give you these headphones, and they light up different colors. So they could be blue, like ours were blue, and then there was green. And there's two DJs. So one DJ has the blue music, and the other DJ is doing the green music. And then you have a button on your headphones where you can change it from blue to green. So you select which song you want to listen to. And then you're listening to that song. So you'll hear, if you take your headphones off, you will hear everybody singing a different song. And then everybody, you could see two couples dancing together, but one's listening to blue and one's listening to green. It's the funniest thing. The guys in our group, they were like, "Oh, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. This is just not my cup of tea." And then I'm like, "Let's just give it a try. If you don't like it, we'll leave." I think they're the ones that had the most fun. After they got to listen to the music and put those headphones on, it was really fun. Such a fun time. But as soon as you took them off, you could hear everybody singing different things to the top of their lungs. Um,
or people are talking to each other and they're yelling because they can't
yes,
hear because they both have headphones on. But if you're not
yes,
wearing headphones, you're like, what is going on? And
yes,
meanwhile, people watching silent disco, it's silent, right? There's no
yeah,
music. So you just
yes,
see people like dancing
yes.
and different rhythms and like doing different things. Sometimes I've seen it like three different styles of music at once. It's like,
Yep.
what are they doing?
Yes. So if you're not participating, it looks really crazy.
Yeah.
But if you're participating, you're like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
So
It's fun for everyone, whether you're in it or out of it. It is very entertaining. Always participate or view silent
yeah,
disco.
yeah.
All right, awesome. So another thing we love to do when we're at Sandals is hit up the spa. So I wanted to know if you visited the spa and what your experience was there.
Yeah, so I love a good spa day. And so we did a couples massage, and actually one of the other couples we went with, they also did a couples massage as well. Their couples massage was out on the beach. They had like this little cabana, and they had their massage out there. We elected to have our massage in a climate controlled room because I am a sweater. I sweat like crazy. And I'm like, I'm going to be out there in the sun on the beach sweating. They're not even going to have to use anything on me because I'm going to be I'm like, and I'm like, that does not sound like so we did do a couples massage in a room, and I have never experienced this before. Like we have done the spa like at Disney and just different places that we've been to. And it was really like, I guess they really try to do it like romantic. So they gave my husband a candle, they gave me a candle, and there was a lady there that had a candle, and she lit his candle, and then she had him lit my candle, and then they're taught, they recite this like romantic poem, and then they had like rose petals in between our beds. So we were standing like there was one bed here, one bed on the other side, and in the middle there was like the rose petals, and that's where we were standing with our candles. And then after they said their little poem, then she was told my husband, now say something romantic in her ear. So that was sweet. And then they proceeded to the massage, but they used like our candles. The wax turned into like an oil that they would use to do the massage with. And then whatever they did not use, we got to bring home with us. So that was really nice. So we definitely enjoyed that. We originally had a 60-minute massage, and in the process, we upgraded it to a 90-minute. Um,
Very
so
nice.
yes, it was very, very nice. They in the spa, they have a cold plunge pool, and then they have a like a hot tub. And actually, I did not realize this until I was there that even if you do not have a spa treatment, you can partake in the cold plunge pool, and also in the hot tub. So that
Yes.
was good to know. Yeah.
Yes, my husband is a big fan of those things. So, and usually the sauna and the steam room and that kind of thing.
Yes,
So,
yes, they do have that as well.
yeah,
Hmm.
so very nice that you can, even if it's not, if you're not using the spa for treatment, there are things in the facility that everyone
Yeah,
can use.
I've been to a lot of spas that you have to have a treatment in order to enjoy the amenities of the spa, but that was not the case there because I know some of the guys we were with, they love the cold plunge pool, so they did that almost every day, and they were allowed to do that. So
That does not sound fun to me, but to each their own.
well, it was like so hot, like so hot. I mean, it was July,
Yeah,
and so it was cooling off, I guess.
it's their vacation. So, okay, so I know Sandals South Coast has been really popular for a lot of my customers as well as yours. So, when you have a new customer come to you and they're kind of telling you their wish list or what they're thinking about, who do you recommend this resort for? Like, what type of clients would you think would want to consider Sandals South Coast for their vacation?
Sure. So one thing that triggers my mind to select Sandals South Coast is when I have a client, one, they've never really traveled outside of the country. This is maybe a first experience for them. Two, they kind of want to experience a little bit about everything, and they want, the luxury feel of a vacation. And if they have no clue, no idea where they want to go, like they just know they want something tropical, they want luxury, and they want just to, be taken care of, and just some activities. That's what I'm like, okay, so I think Sandals South Coast is a really good resort that will check off a lot of those boxes. If you don't know where to go, like every client that I've sent there have nothing but good things to say. I don't think I have ever had a client that hated their time there. Always great things to say. And, honeymooners, honeymooners are great, especially if they're not sure where they want to go. I think it's a really great place for like a romantic trip. People celebrating anniversaries. I think it's a great place for that, just well-rounded. And then adult groups. I think that's one thing that I really did notice at South Coast. There was like, we had our group, but there was other adult groups there as well. So it's just very well-rounded. So usually if they are not set on going somewhere, that's probably going to be one of the options you will see on your quote list.
Yes, and because there's Club Mobay for Jamaica, that makes it really easy if it's their first time going to the Caribbean or to a foreign country to be able to walk through um, the customs process. Now, on the return, bringing us back to Club Mobay, so sad the trip is coming to an end. It's time to head back to the airport. So, Club Mobay also has a service on the way home. So, as we wrap up this discussion of South Coast, tell us a little bit about your experience heading home and the transfer back to the airport as far as the timing and what Club Mobay provided on the way back.
Yeah, so I think a good thing is when you're thinking about your flights. Um, yes, you want to think about what time you're leaving, but the time that you're leaving is not really the time you're leaving your resort or even the time you have to get up. So our flight did not go out till 10 o'clock, but our transport was there at 5:30 in the morning. So, want to make sure that you're thinking, 3 or 4 hours ahead of time. That's when they're going to pick you up because it takes that long to get to the airport. And then you have to think about, traffic and all of those things. So on our way, they did pick us up at like 5:30 in the morning. And on our way to the airport, we got a notification that our flight was delayed. The great thing about Club Mobay that even though our flight was delayed, we did not have to wait in like the regular waiting area, and not have to purchase like drinks or food. We got to the airport. There is an exclusive line for Club Mobay to go through like security check and all those things. But since we were there so early, there was hardly not that many people at the airport. So we just went through the regular line. There was nobody in line. We went right through, no problem at all. But then we found Club Mobay, and once you get into the club, you have drinks. They had breakfast. They had like breakfast burritos. They had eggs, sausage, bacon, donuts, bagels, just I mean, everything that you can think of for breakfast. And you could eat as much as you wanted. And then they had alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, coffee. So our flight was delayed that morning, and we just stayed in the lounge, grabbed some breakfast, had some, coffee, and just waited for, they have Wi-Fi there. So just waited. Some of us took a nap. So, and then once you're ready to board, they will call you over the intercom that your flight to wherever you're going is ready to board. And then you just leave the lounge and you go right into the line. So it was just nice. You have a place to go. You feel like you have somewhere to go, especially for those flight delays, as well. So
Yeah.
I recommend it 100%. It's money well worth it. Well worth it.
Yes, I don't know if you noticed, but in the lounge, I believe they still have showers and stuff, which is great because if you do get stuck, or if you rushed off to the airport and you were like, now I have a delay and I would really like to take a shower before I get on my flight, they have like really nice bathrooms. They're nicer than like I think the standard airport bathrooms. Mm-hmm. They actually have a small little mini spa where you can get a massage. So when we were there with a large group of people, with my husband's company, at Club Mobay, my husband's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a massage." I was like, "Okay." So he went and got a massage. They call our flight for boarding, and everybody's leaving, and I'm like, "Where is he?" So I have waited for him. So we get on the plane, and like the people we were all traveling with like applauded us as we got on the plane, like, "Thank you for coming." I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, yes." So, but I don't know, like when he went in and said how long he wanted the massage for. I think it's just like a chair massage. It's not like, a full spa, but however long they said it was for, but the process of like the time getting in the chair, maybe paying the bill or whatever, added like whatever amount of time. And I mean, it wasn't like we were super late, but it was just kind of funny. But then I always remember there's a little spa there. So again, if you're stuck and you're stressed and you like have a delay, you can go get like, a nice little chair massage and get relaxed. Beautiful area to just relax. I was in the one room one time where there's a view of the planes coming in, which was kind of fun. And they have like family rooms too. So they have like adult areas and family areas. So you can
they do.
The area that best works for you.
No, I think in one area they may not allow children in there, but you have to go to like the family room. They do. And definitely when we stayed, we would see all the planes coming in and we were always like, I wonder if that one's ours. So yeah, no, it was very, very nice. And they keep it clean. I mean, they're always cleaning up and asking you if you need anything. Very good service for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And my last Club Mobay favorite trick is they have packaged snacks that you can take with you, and they make great souvenirs for your children. When you say, "Look what I brought you from Jamaica."
Yeah.
And you bring them home some nice Jamaican snacks that were included in Club Mobay.
There you go. So, I love it.
My last stop for the kids. There you go. But anyway, so yeah, thank you so much for sharing your time at Sandals South Coast. It really is a great option for families and groups, like you said, especially people celebrating couples together, but also a great honeymoon destination. And with the over the water bungalows and the rondevals that are becoming more popular in the Sandals brand, but aren't necessarily at every resort, that really makes Sandals South Coast stand out as a great option if you're looking for that extra luxury. So, well, if you're looking to book a trip to Sandals South Coast or another Sandals property, you can always reach out to Tania. If you go to our website and just select Tania Dixon in the quote form, it'll go right to her and she will take care of you. Thanks for joining us, Tania. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Travel Talk.